Hello, welcome. It's Henry the Computer Guy, and welcome to our lesson number 9. So, having talked about the computer types, so today we are actually going to be looking at some 3 terms where we have the data, the information, and knowledge. What forms the other? Actually, we begin with data. Data is converted into information, and actually we shall have the knowledge in that process. You're seeing the diagram up here. So it becomes as data changes to information, then we have knowledge. So when we are talking about ICT, it is hard for us to skip these 3 terms. Most commonly, 2 terms are talked about, the data and the information. Let's look at them. They're telling us that data is defined as the raw facts or figures entered into the computer for processing. Anything that you're going to put into a computer not organized, you want to modify it, you want the computer to change it into something that has a meaning, but before it gets a meaning, we term it as data. Therefore, you can as well say that it is a collection of facts in a raw or unorganized form. E.g., we can have the numbers, we can have the characters. They are not having any meaning, or they are not organized at all. So we term that one as data. Then information is defined as the processed data that has meaning to the user. When we enter this data into the computer processes it. It uses what we call the processor to convert it to something that has a meaning. So the item that we get after being processed is what we call the information. So information is defined as the processed data that makes a meaning. Then knowledge is information that has been retained with an understanding about the significance of the information. Remember, information can be free, but knowledge can never be free. So knowledge can as well be something, let's say, information that has been processed in the mind of the user. It has been data in the beginning, changed to information, but if it doesn't make a meaning in someone's head, then we cannot call it knowledge. So if it makes a meaning in the mind of the user, then it will become knowledge. So therefore, knowledge is specifically that information processed in the mind of the user, or information that has been retained with an understanding about the significance of the information. It makes a meaning to someone specifically. And I've told you that information is free, but knowledge can never be free. Let's have a table below and look at some of the examples of data and information. We explain it. So this side we have data and this side we have information. What forms the other? Of course, we first have data, then we form what we call the information. So we can have the alphabetical letters. What do these letters form? When we form or when we combine these letters, they will help us to form a word. For example, computer. I've combined alphabetical letters to form a word that makes a meaning, which is a computer. And by this time, we all know what computer means. Then we can have numbers and symbols. For example, 1, 2, we have these symbols, they are here. We have this number. Then, when we form this one or change this one, it can help us to form a mathematical equation. Any equation that you write in math, it can form a meaning. We can have the dates. Remember, we had this number here, which is 1201 200. It has been formed into what we call a date. When you look at it in the context of data now here, they are just numbers. Then when you look at it in the context of information, or in the context of a date, we see it as 12th of January 2020. Are we getting? So we have organize it to become a date, or we can organize it to become a mathematical formula. Then number 3, we have musical notes. Someone wakes up in the morning, writes something, then forms a song out of it. That is making information. So you collect data, you collect some words, you form them into one item. That one can be called a song. When you come on this side, those musical notes are going to form something we can call a song. Then we can have examination scores. Someone gets 90, someone gets 80. So what can that one help us to achieve? We can use these scores to form comments, whether someone has either passed or someone has to repeat a class. Or we can even form the grades. Let's say 95, that is a distinction 1. So that is that is how we can actually talk about a little of the data and the information and the knowledge. So data, they are specifically the raw facts. They are not organized. They don't have any meaning. Then if they are processed by the computer, it becomes information. So information is the processed data. Then knowledge, information that makes meaning in the mind of the what? Of the user. Let's continue. So we shall also look at what we call the uses of ICT in our society. Or we are going to be looking at the application areas of ICT. How do we apply ICT at home? How do we apply ICT at school? In banks, in offices, in security, and other areas. So they are telling us that at the beginning of this chapter, you learned that ICTs are used to collect and share information. You have your data here. You want to send it to another country, you can share it using any ICT tool that you have. It can be a mobile phone. Use internet, etc. In all situations, the ICT devices are used by people or programmed by people to simplify work. In other words, society today uses ICT and it is on increase in all areas. That means that we cannot go a day without the use of ICT. You make a call, that is using ICT. You buy airtime on mobile money. You send money to the village using mobile money. You withdraw money from your, let's say, using Western Union. You shop on Jumia or Chico. You have ordered for Uber. So all those ones, you cannot go a day without making one of those. Paying utilities at home. You pay for electricity. You pay for water. So we cannot go a day without the use of ICT. ICTs are used to collect and communicate information in our homes, schools, hospitals, banking halls, and many other places. For example, at home, we can use it to store our records. For example, our party photos, our budgets we make at home. Then at school, how do you use computers? For study purposes, you find them in the computer lab. Many of you, you're now at home, but you're using Zoom to study online. You use Google Classroom. You can use them at home. We can work from home. That is telecommuting. Then in hospitals, they monitor the condition of a patient. They can be used to make appointments with doctors. Used for research in hospitals. Then in banking halls, we can use them for security purposes. See people who are coming in and those who are going out. Have they picked something which is not theirs? That is how we can use computers and other places. ICTs are also used in entertainment industry, security, agriculture, and transport. For example, in entertainment, they're used for making videos of those songs that you always listen to. Making online concerts. Now musicians are making online concerts. They're at home, but they make the concert when they are at home. You are able to watch them. That is entertainment. Security. We can use them to watch over our offices, our homes, using the CCTV cameras. Nowadays, you pass over or on the way, cameras have been installed there to watch over the movement of people. Who is doing a crime? So it also helps us to cut down or reduce on the crimes that would have been done in an area. Then in agriculture, we use them to communicate to our customers. Get some information about agriculture, making research, keeping records of our farms. What about transport? They're used to monitor aeroplanes, keeping records, looking for devices that are not allowed. For example, you're accessing, let's say, a plane. They have to search your bag, but they won't open it. They will use a computer to, let's say, identify harmful devices that in that bag, and so many others. Then in the security sector, ICTs are used to monitor sensitive areas like banking halls, we have talked about that, and airplane or airports. Screening bags for unwanted materials. That's why I've told you, for example, you have a bomb in a bag. No one is going to open the bag, but they will use a computer to detect that bomb. And many others. However, good ICTs may, in some cases, pose challenges. However much we say that ICT is good, other people use it otherwise. For example, hackers. They have used computers to transfer people's money from one account to another without your consent. You don't know someone is actually reading through your files, breaching your privacy. You're over the internet, but someone is monitoring you. No privacy at all. So, however much we say that ICT is good, it also has the bad one, the bad side. Let's continue. And they're telling us that computers play a role in every field of life. Some are listed below. We have education, we have research, we have businesses, we have health, communication, we have agriculture, we can have military and security. As we are going to be looking at them, we have homes, supermarkets, we have marketing, we have engineering design, we have transport, we can also have entertainment and leisure, etc. So in the next tutorial or next lesson, we are going to be looking at each and every, or some of them, some of these areas, how we apply ICT in some of these areas we have listed below. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new to this channel. And also you can share the link to those friends that you feel that they need this. So it's been Henry the Computer Guy. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. I sign out.